Welcome to the Leadership in Law podcast with host Marilyn Jenkins. Cut through the noise, get actionable insights and inspiring stories delivered straight to your ears. Your ultimate podcast for navigating the ever-changing world of law firm ownership. In each episode, we dive deep into the critical topics that matter most to you, from unlocking explosive growth to building a thriving team. We connect you with successful firm leaders and industry experts who share their proven strategies and hard-won wisdom. So, whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting your journey as a law firm owner, the Leadership in Law podcast is here to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to build a successful and fulfilling legal practice.
Welcome to another episode of the Leadership in Law podcast. I'm your host, Marilyn Jenkins. Please join me welcoming my guest, Gary Mitchell, to the show today. Gary is the founder of OnTrac Coach and creator of the Law Firm Xelerator Program. For more than 2 decades, Gary has helped lawyers transform their practices into businesses that actually support their lives, not consume them. With a background in entrepreneurship, strategy, and leadership, Gary works with law firm owners to build stronger teams, simplify operations, and develop the skills that law school never taught them, like business thinking, hiring, and leadership. His approach challenges the traditional belief that success in law requires sacrificing time, health, or personal freedom. He's also the author of the upcoming book, The And Approach, which focuses on how lawyers can grow a successful firm and create more freedom at the same time. I'm excited to have you here, Gary. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Marilyn. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you back on the show. Tell us a bit about your leadership journey.
Oh boy, perfectly honest with your audience, my leadership journey began with my first management job when I was 20 and I didn't know anything. To look back at that, I could call him many different things. I won't say it on camera. I shake my head and go, wow. So I was a great server. I had good people skills. So the owner wanted to promote me. No training. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
No training, no support. I really didn't know how to manage or lead. And I look back and I go, wow. So then starting my first business at 25, I built a national event with marketing partners all across Canada, media partners, national media of attention and focus. There was leadership growth there. I think perhaps my personal most before law was running a campaign, which got me into coaching lawyers in the first place. I ran a campaign for a lawyer for Parliament. And I had the great fortune of having an amazing mentor who had been the years before me, decades of experience in political and running the campaign meetings, leading the team. I learned so much from him. Like, I think I look back and part of the acknowledgements in the book, we'll get into in a minute, are all the teachers, all the mentors, all the coaches, all the people I've had in my life that I've learned from. It's also been like, if there's 2 topics I study, it's leadership and business. Every book I'm getting on Audible it's very focused. When people, they laugh because I'm in Mexico for the winter. That's I'm traveling my bucket list while I grow my business and coach. And I'll take a break. If I do have time, I'll take a break up the pool and I'm listening to an audiobook. Well, everyone else is listening or reading or listening to romance novels. I'm doing more full study in my break.
I love it.
I've been studying leadership for the better part of my adult life. Then in working with lawyers and law firms, working directly with law firm owners, it's become almost a singular focus, because when you think about it, leadership is number one. Everything else comes after that. Like everything. Oh, this is the problem. This is my pain point. It all goes back to the leader, to the law firm owner, their decision-making process, how they build their teams, how they delegate or not, their ability to let go of control and perfectionism or not.
Or no. The or not's the kicker there.
And I say with a smile and a laugh, because there's no judgment here. Lawyers have been conditioned a certain way their entire lives. They've started out with personality traits that are probably 100-fold the average human being. These are not just lawyer traits. These are human being personality traits, like perfectionism, like having a sense of control, risk averse, with procrastination, And then the risk averse plus the perfectionism plus the difficulty in letting go with control, that puts up some huge barriers to law firm owners in growing the firms, right? So you're going along, you're the number one provider. The clients come for you and your name, and you're working 60 billable hours a week, and you're trying to run your business on the side. It doesn't work. So at some point, you have to make a decision, which hat is going to be the predominant hat, the lawyer hat or the entrepreneur owner hat. You can't have two full-time jobs. And when I'm working with my clients, Marilyn, I always work with their strength, right?
Okay.
Like we go with their why. What is their why? What is their and? Okay. What are we doing? Then we look at their strengths and weaknesses. We want to bolster their strengths, and we want to fill the gaps left by their weaknesses with building their A team. And this is psychologically how I help them to let go of control and perfectionism, is we focus intently on getting the right people, building the right systems. They can see it works, and that's how they're able to let go of control. And as soon as they do that, Marilyn, they're on the path to more freedom, whatever their end is.
Yeah, I think the first thing is they always say that the thing that you don't enjoy doing, there's someone out here that does enjoy it.
And they're 10 times better at it.
Yeah.
And
Regret or
let's
dread
do the
it.
math. Let's do the math, right? If you're a managing partner of a small firm, your billable is somewhere around $5 to upward, maybe $1,000 an hour. If you're doing a min task, I was on a consultation with a law firm owner 2 weeks ago, and he told me, and his director of operations was on the consultation as well. He told me he had spent the previous day 13 hours on billing.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I shook my head, and I was like, do you realize how much money you are leaving on the table? It's a typical, in their mind, they think, I don't have the money to hire an admin person or this person or that person. And I'm thinking, it's just so blatantly obvious to me. It's like, you be the lawyer,
Yeah.
right? Go out and bill whatever you bill. Billable hour is not my favorite subject. I actually try to get them to value-based billing. But if it's a standard system and they're following the billable hour, do the math. And what will always happen is you're going to find someone who's better at it, and it's costing a fraction of the time, which means money, that you're doing to take that task. And even more importantly, over time, the long run, it's keeping you from the high-level strategy and leading time that you need. You're spreading yourself out thin on tasks that could easily be done by other people that are better at it, other people that will cost you far less. So that's another. Now, talk about ands. So people often ask me, what do you start with first? I'm like, and, because they're all interrelated. Everything
And
is
they come
related.
back to your why, right? You've got to work your way down from your why in your head to the why in your heart. And then your and comes in. You have to know your
That's
why
right.
before you can do that, right?
Yeah. What is your why for doing this? What do you envision? And again, as a coach, I'm not there to say you're right or wrong. It's your why. Your particular Marilyn's why is different than Gary's why, is different than a client's why. I'm here to help you get it. Right.
Yeah.
And cut through. Lawyers always, because they're so stuck on, speaking of time, they're so stuck on bill equals time. I've recently come up in this, a consultation helped me come to this. 20 years in, Marilyn, you got to be still learning every day, right?
Every day.
To get away from the lawyer brain of, weekly calls and blah, blah. And I could see it buzzing in there when they see the retainer, they're dividing that by the hours of coaching. I'm like, oh, you're not buying my time. You're buying your time back, and you're buying 20 years of lessons learned from mistakes. That is priceless.
Sure.
Like the old saying, Pavarotti didn't make $10 million in 1 hour concert. He made $10 million because he spent 40 years gathering the experience and the skills to be able to sing on that level.
Yes.
So that's the thing. I use that argument too when I'm introducing or arguing for. I do argue with lawyers. Can you believe it? Who am I? But I argue the same point for the value-based billing. Yeah. Clients care less about how much time. They want an outcome. And many times in their brain, an outcome is worth a certain amount. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to that outcome, right? The fact is you're getting to it. That's the thing. So lawyers will automatically assume if I move away from the billable hour, I'm going to make less. You actually have the potential to make more, and your clients are more happy because they're not getting dinged every 6 minutes, right?
Right.
Who wants to see phone call to client 6 minutes or 0.6, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a lot of what I work through with my clients, and it's in the book. Everything I've done in 20 years is in the book, is a lot about mindset, taking a different view. We have the lawyer mind, highly skeptical, critical, analytical. Right. These are not bad things. These are the reasons why we hire lawyers. Those are qualities that make for a great lawyer. The trouble is, transitioning into growing a firm is those skills are diametrically opposed to the skills required to be great at business. It's
Sure.
the whole left brain versus brain challenge. So a lot is to gently help them understand this is the way you think. It serves you very well in your practice, being a lawyer, serving your clients. But we need to look over here. I always like to bring humor. It's my personality, Marin. It's not all serious, right? So your left brain has had Olympian level training, while your right brain has been binging Netflix on the couch with potato chips.
I love that. That's hilarious.
We need to get your right brain off the couch.
So is that, or you're starting obviously with talking leadership, that are you working on mindset and as well as processes?
Oh yeah. Mindset is actually 3. So chapter 3 of the book. There's first kind of a profile of the ascending law firm owner, their personality, their fears, their hopes, their dreams, what keeps them up at night. There's even a journal entry as an appendix at the end of chapter 1, which is, I think people will find very entertaining. The endorsements so far are pretty spectacular. I think have captured the lawyer mind pretty well. So then it talks about lawyer traits, right? And then it talks about creating that mindset that is required for success in business. So there's a lot, and it's all up front. Then there's self-care and practice management also, all before we dive into the business strategies. There's a reason why I do that. Everything I've learned in life and business has come down to, I truly believe attitude accounts for 99% of everything.
Good point.
You can come from the best law school. You can have the best grades. If you don't have the right attitude, you won't go far. Whereas somebody with a B coming from a second tier or even third tier law school, B average, chances are they were probably working to put themselves through law school. So that shows work ethic, shows dedication, shows hard work, right? And I've seen it over and over again. Someone new, fresh, right attitude. They don't have experience, but they're a sponge. They do what it takes. They study when they have to. They get to it. They get it done. So that's one of the philosophies I help them understand with respect to hiring as well. This is a true story. I think it was in my second or third year, I read an article printed about a very successful firm in the US. Their hiring strategy is they always bypassed first tier law schools. Okay. So they started at second tier and down, and they were looking for they bypassed A students as well. And they were looking for B students because what they found over time is that those B students were actually working at the same time. They were not handed the education on it. They were not silver spoon students. Nothing against those people for having a great life, being born into a family that has wherewithal and money. No. When you have to work for things, it builds a certain kind of attitude and strength, like thick skin. And so they found these people, when they landed at the law firm, worked harder, got along well with others, teamwork. It was about the task. It was about the clients. It was about the service. It was about doing whatever it would take to get the job done. And it seems every evolution, every new client, I see the same thing, right? Someone can be super talented, but they've got a grudge on their shoulder or they've got some level of entitlement. It holds them back from being their best self, right?
Yeah. Now, do you find that which one of those is better at, and we're going back to a leadership question, better at delegating? Because I know that it can be the point where I can just do it faster if I do it. And that's obviously not the cost-effective business planning type thing you want. Delegation is so important. Do you find either one of those is better at it, or both need to be taught?
Both need to be taught, but the one that has a better work ethic will be taught and managed less. You'll have to manage them less. You'll have to teach them less. The one that have the higher grades, has the entitlement and attitude, will think they know more than they do, will not come to you and ask for help, is not open to as much constructive criticism for growth. I bet they'll be the ones who disappoint you more often. Now, here's the thing, delegation. That's a biggie as well.
It's big.
So it's a human thing. It's not just a lawyer thing. I've come up with another equation. Everything lawyers are, all human beings are. After all, lawyers are human beings. Some might disagree with that statement. Sorry, I like to keep it light. That's my only lawyer joke. And I lost my track. See, sometimes when I bring in humor, it's boom, the thought's out the window. What was it about?
We were talking about delegation.
Right, delegation. Okay. So the typical person when they delegate, and this is leadership, all leadership, you've done it 1,000 times. In your brain, you can't wait to get this task out of your brain and off to someone else. So you're very short in your instructions. You're assuming, I've done it 1,000 times. This person can pick it up really quickly. They're bright, they're smart. First mistake, right? And it's time in, time out. That's the first mistake lawyers and anyone else in a leadership role will make. Human condition. Second mistake is they won't let the person they're delegating to know that they are available, open door, if that person has any challenges or struggles or questions. So I'm always here to give you feedback. Third mistake they make is not follow up sooner than later. If you've given someone a task and it's due by Friday, don't wait till Friday. Check in with them on Tuesday or Wednesday. How's it going? Here's the thing. When you put the investment up front in effectively delegating, the payoff is amazing.
And quick.
It is very quick. We're dealing with smart people. That's what I find in my coaching. Even though I'm teaching them new skills, new approaches, new strategies, we're dealing with very smart people. They learn quickly when they're given the right direction. Again, think of it as an investment. Don't think of it as, oh my God, I just spent half an hour giving instructions. Now here's the other equation. I go back to it. If you got the right people and you're giving the right instructions, this is a winning formula. You'll find out very quickly if you don't have the right people, if you're doing your part of it, if you're delegating effectively, following up, making sure they've got support, making sure they know you can always come to them. They can come to you for follow-up. You'll know very quickly if you don't have the right people. The system I use is you get the right people, the right systems, press play, plug and play. That's what I call it. And this is how you scale for growth. And it gets you on the path to freedom because you are not the bottleneck anymore, right? People to come to you for a simple decision on something. You have empowered your people. You've given them growth opportunities. You've given them support. You've given them very effective instruction, followed up, been compassionate as they learn. Remember when you were starting out. Remember your senior lawyer and the lack of direction he gave you or she gave you and all the stress it caused you. Don't be that. Be the leader you wanted when you were coming up. Be the leader that you would have appreciated when you were coming up in your career. And the investment, Marilyn, you know this from your interaction with law firms. It's just amazing, the return on investment for that. So it's helping them to just look at things in different ways.
Yeah. And that's one side beyond that. You create the systems, SOP or whatever, and you delegate that. You give that to someone. You've now given them a value in your company, right? So not only have you just bought back your time, this person's going to do more for you, which will give you more time, which will be more productive in the long run. It's a win-win with the right person in the right seat.
Exactly. And you're empowering them. Here's another tip too. Get them engaged in the client relationships as early as you can. This is, to them, it's a reward. It's like, instead of head down in the cubicle, never seeing the light of day, or clients, the people who are benefiting from their work, they're going to client events. They may go with the senior partner or the managing partner, however the makeup is. And you go and meet with the client, and that person can be their witness. And when you know that there could be good feedback, a managing partner looks over at the associate, says, do you think I've missed anything? 9 times out of 10, that associate's going to have an idea that you didn't think of. And you're demonstrating in front of the client that you have a team of people that are capable. It's not just you. So that ends the whole argument. They come to me for me. They come to me for my expertise. Okay. Let go of the ego, because that's nice. It's nice to feel wanted. Yes. But if you want to grow, you have to grow. You have to delegate. You have to get these responsibilities off your plate. Demonstrate to the client that it's not just you. You've built a team of amazing talented people, dedicated, and it's not you. That's how you can be climbing a mountain, laying on a beach, doing Machu Picchu, whatever it is, whatever your end is, until you, like, there's a number of steps, and they're not always in the same order, Marilyn, because it depends on who we're dealing with, right? I do not ever, with anything, profess cookie cutter. With HR, with onboarding, it's always got to be a little bit customized to the individual. And it's the same way I approach my coaching. I never treat any two law firm owners exactly the same, because they're not. We are individual human beings, and we may have the same traits, but all to varying degrees, right? With different experiences in life, different experiences professionally. And these all form the way we think and the way we work. Yes, it's harder. As human beings, we want to press the easy button. One policy, one across the board. We know the results that come from that approach.
Yeah.
Chaos. People leaving all the time. It's a revolving door. None of this is easy, but it's not as hard as it may seem when you make a few little shifts. We're not talking about changing everything, but making a few little shifts compounds over time. And then you see the light come on, because they're seeing results.
I have a coach that's actually said, you can't see the full picture if you're in the frame. So sometimes we need someone like you to point out what we can't see.
Oh, it's actually very true. And I do too. I need that too. That's a human thing for sure. When we're in it, we're so focused on what we're doing, and we're all busy people. We're doing a lot of things at the same time. You're so true, right? Here's another thing I've learned. Finally, in some areas, I'm a very slow learner, Marilyn. At the finale of the event in Toronto, when I was 28, okay, my mother looks at me and she looks around and then she looks at me and she goes, "Gary, you have no idea what you've created, do you?" I look around, whatever, but what do you mean? Exactly. She says. So the other thing I've learned expensively, thank God I've lived long enough so I got it, I'm enjoying every step of the way. I encourage my clients to as well. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy this little win. Enjoy that big win. Just enjoy it. Yes, we need to be focused on what our why is, what our end is, where we're heading. From my experience, the universe, whatever you want to call it, sometimes has different ideas and can take us in a better direction if we stay open. And that's being more present, and being more present is actually enjoying the moment and enjoying the journey. So that's a valuable lesson. I try to impart that on my clients as well, because they're working very hard, as we all are. They can go by so quickly, right?
Yeah. All of a sudden, your kids are grown and you're like, what happened? Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, right? If you don't mind missing your daughter's recital or your son's soccer practice, your anniversary, not taking a vacation, working the nights, working weekends, that's all fine with you. Do not buy my book and don't hire me.
If a law firm owner wants to grow their business and create more freedom and save time at the same time, what is obviously buy your book, what's the one principle that they should focus on first?
Build from strength, build your A team.
Okay. And how would your book help us? So you talked about chapter 3. So the book, the and approach, tell us a bit who is that focused for? How can that help them? Just succinctly and drawing it to the close here.
It's written in the words of law firm owners that have endorsed the book. They've read it and endorsed it. They're former clients. They've endorsed it. Whether you're starting out, whether you're in solo practice, whether you're a junior lawyer, whether you're a senior partner at a national firm, or you're running your own firm, this book is a must-have. It's the most holistic approach to growing a practice, okay, and then firm beyond that. So beyond mindset and self-care, practice management, there's HR. There's a hiring strategy, onboarding strategies, retention strategies, bonus structure, incentives, all of that. There's a ton. Leadership is the second largest chapter. So I've put many different scenarios of what leadership in a law firm means, looks like, strategies for how to become your best leader. By the way, that managed my 20-year-old manager leader to the campaign leader to the leader now that I am. When you become a better leader, it feels better. The energy you are getting back from the people you are working with is positive. It's collaborative. It grows. It moves forward. There is a reward beyond financial here for you, for those of you who do want to improve your leadership skills. Your life will be better quality. That's one of the added benefits. So there's obviously marketing. That's the largest chapter. Marketing, business development, HR, leadership. It's the whole thing, really, for law firm owners. But like the lawyer said that read it, if you're a lawyer, you want to grow a practice, here's your roadmap, here's your blueprint. It literally is the culmination of everything I've done in my professional life, outside of coaching lawyers as well. Things I learned as an entrepreneur the hard way.
Yeah.
Most of us entrepreneurs, we don't learn when we get big wins and we succeed. We learn from falling down, picking ourselves back up, doing a little bit of postmortem, what was right, what was wrong, what can I improve, and going back on it again. See, that's a different mindset too that I have to work on with, because lawyers don't like to make mistakes.
Right.
It hurt their shield somehow. It's like they can't make mistakes. That attitude is very acceptable within the practice of law, because obviously making a mistake can lead to serious ramifications.
True.
Right? So there's a lot of pressure. But in business, we don't learn unless we make mistakes. So there's strategies I use to help them make them calculated risks, not just trying everything willy-nilly, but based on 20 years, based on these scenarios, based on these factors, with this information in front of us, this is your best bet. So we go with proof, understanding the lawyer mind, and then they'll take a little bit of risk, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more proof. They got to have proof, right? I don't fight that. I show them proof, but it's so much fun actually, because it's a challenge and it's made me grow in my skills. Like I look back and go, wow, I still don't know anything. That's my attitude.
But it must be rewarding to see someone come through some big challenges and go, I really needed that.
Yeah. The best reward is when they don't need me anymore.
Yeah.
I had one client say to me when we worked together 2 years, and he said, your business model is not the best for revenue and ongoing revenue because you make yourself irrelevant. And I said, yes,
That's what a good coach does.
That's the nature of coaching. I'm not here for the rest of your life or career. I'm here to impart what I've learned for myself and for my clients, help you avoid the mistakes, the costly mistakes, the stressful mistakes, the mistakes that keep you from reaching your goals, or can be seriously lengthening the process at the very least. That's my goal. And so that's my job, my role. So when you're at a point where, and it's like we can both feel it, the client and I can both feel it. Hey, you're ready to go.
Kind of, we're done here. Yeah.
Check in, shoot me an email, keep in touch. I'll reach out to you. I want to see where this goes, because I love to see from the very first client who 2 years later, I guess he was around 40. 2 years after we worked together, he became the #1 income earner at the 100-year-old litigation firm.
Wow.
The biggest file that firm had ever brought in. We're going to do a secondary launch in Vancouver. He has endorsed the book. So there's some full circle going on. Yeah, it's an amazing way to make a living. And people will go, why lawyers? And I'm like, I stumbled into it from my background, and they really do need help. And the people that I work with are outstanding human beings, making a contribution in their communities, making a contribution as entrepreneurs, small business, right? In North America, small business accounts for what? 80%? It's something very high, right? So I'm happy to be working with all entrepreneurs that are making impact in the world, right?
Agreed. And again, the name of your book, The And Approach.
The And Approach, how to grow your law firm and gain more freedom.
I love that. So I know that our listeners are going to want to connect with you, reach out to you, obviously get your book. Where would be the best place for them to do that?
The easiest place, Gary Mitchell on LinkedIn. or my website, ontraccoach.com.
Okay, perfect. We'll make sure we have those in the show notes. And Gary, this has been a great conversation. I really appreciate your time today. And I hope people got a lot out of it and they pick up your book as soon as it's available. And it's available soon.
It is. Pre-sales announcement goes out next week, which is for viewers when this gets live. It's April 21st. Pre-sales go.
Fantastic. And that's the
Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you, Gary.
That's a wrap on today's episode of the Leadership in Law podcast. Before you go, I want to make sure that you know about something that could be a real game changer for your firm. If you've been doing the work, showing up, serving clients, but your marketing still isn't producing the caseload you know you deserve, that's exactly the problem Law Marketing Zone was built to solve. My team and I work exclusively with law firms, and we don't do cookie cutter. We build a strategy around your practice, your market, and your goals. More high-quality leads, better cases, less stress, and more profit. Head over to lawmarketingzone.com/book-a-call and book your free case growth session today. The link is in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Leadership in Law podcast. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. There's a whole community of law firm owners out there facing similar challenges and striving for the same success. Head over to our website at lawmarketingzone.com. From there, connect with other listeners, access valuable resources, and stay up to date on the latest episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, keep leading with vision and keep growing your firm.